What's up, people? In this video, we're going to do this guy, Paul Revelia. I've done a video on him before, and anyway, this is called Misleading Food Labels Ruining Your Diet. I promised at the beginning of the day, I was like, I'm not going to do any more nutrition videos. I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to do any fitness videos. I did one, and then another one, and then another one, and fucking here I am on like my 5th one of the day. Anyway, nobody told me to do this. I'm just picking it randomly. I've done a video on him before. I don't remember how that was. I think it falls into the same category as many of my other videos on mainstream fitness YouTuber people, which is that like the advice they give is good for people who are not complete beginners. But for a complete beginner, they need to be handled much more roughly, I believe, and just told, go to the fucking gym and lift weights and eat meat and don't eat shit food. That's really all you need to tell a beginner. Anyway, let's watch this video by good old Polly R.
Nutrition labels. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Revelia from ProPhysique.com. In today's video, we're going to talk about the truth behind nutrition labels. And if you are looking for help with your fitness goals, nutrition goals, well, be sure to hit that subscribe button and follow along for a damn near daily video that I'm doing these guys. Now, today's video, it comes from the heart. You see, as someone who coaches a lot of people and is really trying to pay attention to the best way to approach a nutrition philosophy, well, a really common thing is to track your macronutrients or to use an app like MyFitnessPal or MyMacros and take a food label and plug it in, and there you go. You have your calories that you've eaten, you have your calories that you exercise, and therefore you can make some good decisions and reach your goals. But hold on. What is that label? What does that label even mean? Who is verifying that that label is correct? And I'm going to talk about what we should do about these labels, what we should trust, and when things are most important to us, what we should actually do. So the Food and Drug Administration requires that all food products actually have a food label on there explaining their serving size, their macronutrient profile, as well as their total calories. The Food and Drug Administration actually allows a 20% margin of error on those food labels. That's right. So if you go by food labels and you're on a 2,000 calorie diet, that means you could be getting as much as 2,400 calories a day, just because the FDA allows for it. But what's really interesting is I found 2 studies. So I did a little digging. You see,
Alright, anyway, before we get into the studies, like, I'm not a fan of counting calories unless you are a physique competitor, as I've said many times, which he actually is, ironically enough. So, yeah, let's clear that up. I'm not. Most people are not. So again, as I said in the beginning of this video, this is good advice for somebody who knows what they're doing. Physique competitors know what they're doing, straight up. Like, they just know, you know, compared to your average person doesn't know shit. I don't like counting calories. I think it's stupid and a waste of time if you're choosing the right foods. If you're choosing the right foods to eat, meat and eggs, God, it's been so long since I've done a nutrition video. I haven't said this in like a week. Anyway, if you're eating the right foods, meat and eggs, I don't think you need to count calories because you will naturally eat until you are full. And you will get full faster, as opposed to if you like plug everything into MyFitnessPal. And like he said, a lot of the foods are wrong. And I would make the argument that if your food has a nutritional label, you should not be eating it. Natural foods do not have nutritional labels, right? Blueberries do not have nutritional labels. Like strawberries, not a nutritional label. Steak does not have a nutritional label when you buy it. It's fucking steak, it's meat, fish, like eat those things. Eat natural food, you know what I mean? Anyway, that's my advice for beginner people. I honestly feel like in the fitness YouTuber world, you have to differentiate. You have to make it clear who the advice is for, right? Like you could make the argument, everybody, we're all human beings, our bodies are all the same at their core level. But advice for, like specific advice for me at my level of fitness experience, let's call it, is going to be different than fitness advice for somebody who's 350, like fasting fat man, for example. You wouldn't give us the same advice, all of the same advice, right? For example, for him, you might tell him, homie, you need to do some more, like you need to fast every week, right? Should I fast every week? Maybe for a day, right? But he arguably needs to fast more than 1 day a week, right? Guy's got like 100 pounds left to lose. You know, I have like maybe 3, you know, if that, 5, let's say, whatever, 10, I don't know. So like different advice for different people, also regarding working out, you know? You're not going to tell him go run for an hour, whereas me, you can tell me to go run for an hour. If he runs for an hour, like he's going to need a knee replacement. So it needs, I think, to be clarified in these like nutrition videos specifically, right? Because that's where it gets like the most misleading. However, like I said, my general guidelines: eat a lot of meat, eat a lot of eggs. Those are good for pretty much everybody because they will fill you up faster. And regardless of you're a skeleton who doesn't eat or you're a fat blob who eats too much, those are good solutions for both of you. Or you're fit and in shape, like you should be eating those foods. Those are the staples of the human diet, in my opinion.
Years ago, I watched a video by Casey Neistat called The Truth Behind Nutrition Labels. And this was when I first got into tracking macronutrients and tracking calories. Now, Casey is by no means a fitness person, but he was just curious about the new rules when they first instituted them. So Casey took a bunch of foods and had them tested in a calorimeter. Now, I'll link that video below. It's got millions of views. Casey Neistat has since blown up. He is a huge YouTube personality, but this video still holds up, as you'll see. Casey does a really good job just grabbing some everyday food items and having them tested. Now, what I was able to find were two studies that I felt were really, really closely related to what I was interested in. You see, sometimes when I'm coaching people, I find that when we don't make progress despite hitting our goals, I have to do a review of their food items. And I kept finding certain companies' food items in those of my clients that were not making progress. We remove those items, boom, start making progress again. Also, I had a couple reports of food companies that were having their products sent in privately, getting lab results back that showed that the calories and the macronutrient ratios were way off what was on the label. So it's interesting to find that we actually have some studies done and some research done. So I'm going to link those studies below. There was one done in 1993 and one done in 2013. That's right. The way that Casey Neistat and this research from both these studies was done was using a calorimeter. Now, the one that I'm showing you in the video here is called a bomb calorimeter. Now, what they do is they put water in there, they put the food inside this device, then they attach some electrodes. Then, just like our bodies break down food and give off energy, that's exactly what this system does. It's a closed system that makes the food burn, and that is how they determine how many calories per food item. And in both the studies, there were some crazy inaccuracies in the food. In the 1993 study, food...
All right, anyway, before we get into that, like, I don't know. All of my like memories of doing all these fitness videos are coming back to me now. Like why I hate this industry so much is because like you don't need to know this. You don't need to know the only people who need to know this are actually like bodybuilders and physique competitors who need to know exactly how many calories they're getting so that they can cut in a timely fashion to get down to exactly the body fat percentage that they want to get down to without dying the day of the competition. That is the purpose of this, doing this. Like that's why all these people know all this shit about this, is for that specific reason. Your average person doesn't need to know. Like even your average advanced person in fitness does not need to know. Like if you're not competing on stage, you do not need to know, really. Like why would you need to know? For your own maybe satisfaction of knowing it, I guess, but like why? Really, why? It's just so much easier. Like eat like your choice of these like 3 different food items, like meat, fish, or eggs. Eat as much of that as you can. Eat once a day, and what was the other one? And go exercise, go lift weights, or play a sport. Really. Anyway, calorimeter. Let's.
Foods that were listed as locally prepared were off by as much as 85%. 85% over what the calories were listed at. That means if you're on a 2,000 calorie diet, you'd actually be getting 3,700 calories that day. So foods that were prepared locally, obviously someone in the kitchen, they're making it themselves. They're not really paying attention to the amounts as much as you think they would. Regionally prepared foods, which would be larger companies, theirs were 25% higher, meaning if you're on a 2,000 calorie diet, you'd be getting 2,500 calories for that day if you trusted those food labels. So as you can see, the 1993 study already showed that there was a pretty big discrepancy in what was being listed and what was on the plate. Okay, so the newer study that I found from 2013 took more common snack items that you found around the store. Now, their premise was this: the rise in obesity is really closely associated with the availability of snacks. Anywhere you go, if you go to check out at any store, there is an assortment of snacks, and that was their premise: is that these snacks are therefore causing what is now the obesity epidemic. Why? Well, because these couple hundred extra calories a few times a day can really add up over the years and put some body weight on people, and for good reason. But for those that want to track their calories and make sure they're being accurate, they wanted to test these snacks, and they tested some really common ones. And the consensus was that yes, most all the items were over the calories listed, but most of it was related to carbohydrates. That's right, the carbohydrates made up for the majority of what was incorrect. And there was a couple items that I thought I'd bring up to your attention just because they seem like common items that people might have. There was
Anyway, before he gets into that, like, true, and honestly, I made a video in the past about comparing different countries and how easy or hard it is to stay fit in those countries. One of the hardest countries, in my opinion, is America to stay fit. Actually, very hard to stay fit in America because you have so many snacks available that are not. You have so many really good snacks available in America. Like, go to your grocery store, and not just one grocery store. You have Ralph's in California, right? You have Whole Foods, you have Trader Joe's, you have Costco, right? All these places have different snacks, different variations, right? None of them are healthy, but it's so tempting every time you go to one of these stores to do your grocery shopping, or just if you're bored, to go in there and try the new snack. And there's always new snacks, Whereas now I'm in Vietnam, if I actually right now, if I want to buy food, number one, there's no grocery stores. There's only convenience stores, street food vendors, and restaurants if I want food. So like, even if I want, like, sometimes I'll be out after I've eaten my meal, and I'll want a snack every night, really, let's be honest. And I'll go into a convenience store and I'll like look around and I'll be like, okay, what can I get? Like, the most unhealthy thing that I could get is like a bag of potato chips, which I get frequently, or maybe like a little thing of ice cream, or like a drumstick, the ice cream drumstick things, or Snickers bar, right? That's like the most unhealthy thing I can get. Whereas in America, you can go to Costco, buy a giant box of cookies or a giant thing of ice cream or get a Slurpee, like, oh my god, or a big gulp at 7-Eleven, like, or double gulp, whatever, like cup like this that's refillable for like $2, I don't know, whatever, however much it is there. The availability and unhealthiness of the snacks, like, clearly why America is a difficult place to stay fit compared to, for example, Vietnam or really any other country. Okay, that's number one. Number two, carbohydrates, right? Like if you watch this channel, you probably watch these like 10,000 calorie challenges and mukbangs and like girl versus food and like all these like skinny little girls who are eating a lot of food in a given day, presumably without gagging themselves. How do they do it? How is this possible? Well, if you notice what they eat, it's virtually all carbs, right? Carbs make your body release insulin, which makes you more hungry. You get more hungry, you eat more carbs because they're not eating meats, because most of them are skeletons or afraid of meat for some reason. They're not eating meat, and they're not eating fat because carbs are just better, or better tasting, I guess. So they'll go eat more carbs, release more insulin, eat more carbs, release more insulin. And it's just like this cycle that repeats itself to the point where you get this girl who weighs like 110 pounds, smash 10,000 calories, and you're like, how did she do it? Well, notice they're only eating carbs, actually only eating refined sugar from processed shitty packaged food, Show me the 10,000 calorie meat challenge. Show me that. I want to see somebody do that. Let's see, Stephanie Buttermore, like your magical stomach. Like, go ahead, show me, please. I want to watch you eat 10,000 calories of meat. Actually, like, let me see how much meat you can eat in a day, really. Yeah. Anyway, those are the two things. What are the magical foods? I wonder.
There's one item called a Yoplait smoothie, which actually had 22 more carbs than it was listed on the label, and 100 more calories in total than was on the label. Tostitos tortillas were also, per serving, 6 carbs and a couple grams of fat higher than what was listed on the label. Now, why do I say these two items? Well, I think they're pretty common that we just go to the counter, we pull out a bag of chips, and even if we're weighing it, or even if we're trusting what's on the label, like these Yoplait smoothies, we go and we drink those and eat those, you just say, oh, that's my calories, you put it in your thing for the day, and you're good. You do that a few times a day with a few different products, and guess what happens? You're wildly off. Now, for those of us that are just trying to lose weight in a general fashion, it's probably not going to be that detrimental, okay? Because you're at least being accountable, you're at least being consistent. But where the real problem lies is the population of people that I work with, the population of people that are trying to get to elite levels of conditioning. And this is where the flexible dieting lifestyle really took off years ago, was amongst people that wanted to do competitions. You see, part of the difficulty of getting stage lean and getting shredded is that you have to eat boring foods kind of over and over. And you just get into these eating patterns where you're eating the same boring foods. Lean meats, okay, oats and quinoa and rice as your carb sources, your very basic things, and your fats are very limited. So dieting can become a little bit boring. But that's for good reason. It's very difficult to get lean. And so these foods are whole food sources that really provide the best micronutrient values, and they provide the best satiety, and just food volume in general. You get a lot of bang for your buck out of some veggies versus, just grabbing something. I will say this though, to give some respect to my Pop-Tarts. They were in that study from 2013, and they were actually correct. Way to go.
Wow, Pop-Tarts are correct. How about that? Well, I don't know. Who knows why? Whatever. Anyway, that's interesting because there's so many different types of Pop-Tarts. Interesting though. Pop-Tarts, of all things, were correct. Okay, cool. Again, like I said in the beginning, he is a physique competitor. He trains physique competitors. So if you are not a physique competitor, is this really super relevant for you that like you bought some tortillas and like they had more calories than you thought and that's why you're fat? No, sorry, wrong. I know that's not what he's saying, but I'm hearing already the potential excuse on Facebook, like the argument on Reddit, for your average person. And 8 minutes into this video, he is clarifying that like different advice should be given for fitness people as for average people, normal people, out of shape people, let's say. Go to the gym, lift weights, eat meat, and eat once a day. Really, I can't even say it anymore. Like, I don't know, I just can't say it anymore.
But my point being, when things really matter, you should not be too flexible. You should not be changing food sources every single day. You should not be trusting everything on those labels. When things matter the most, you should be creating a consistent, sustainable food plan of foods that you enjoy and that you prepare. That's right. You need to be going to the store and grabbing some foods and preparing them. The next best option would be a food delivery service. But even with something like Icon Meals, which I am sponsored by Icon Meals, so I'm going to mention them. However, when Icon Meals delivers my foods and I'm in prep, I take them out of the container and I weigh them. Why? Well, because it's really easy to weigh some rice or weigh some chicken or weigh some steak. It doesn't take that much time. And when it matters to me, I'm going to make sure that I'm accurate. Now, when I'm not trying to be so particular, when I'm not trying to get to that crazy elite shredded place that you need to be for a bodybuilding competition, I'm a lot more trusting. I trust the food labels. I'm okay estimating. I just need to make sure I'm hitting kind of my protein goals for the day, my calorie goals for the day, and that's where we're at. But when it comes to dieting down and getting on stage, for those of you that are still watching, the real value in preparing your own food is that you're controlling the variables, okay? That is the least margin of error that there can be. You buy the foods, you prepare the foods, you know what goes in it. Anytime someone prepares your food for you, or you have a food label, you don't know what's in it. Okay, guys, you just don't know. There is so much variation. And that's my point. Food labels are great because it gives us an idea. But there's nothing that says they're going to be 100% accurate. Heck, even the government says there can be as much as a 40% variation in what's on the label. All right, guys, that's
Absolutely 100% true, which is why, I don't know, was it this video that I said it? Like, if you're eating, like, if your food has a nutritional label, you're already fucked up, straight up. Like, you shouldn't eat that food. Like, fine, I don't know, like, do some steaks have nutritional labels on them? I don't think so. I've never seen a nutritional label on, like, a steak or, like, a pack of blueberries or something. But really, like, if your food has a nutritional label, why are you eating it, you know? If you're a professional, and again, this is advice for stupid beginners, for lack of a better explanation. My patience for these fitness videos has gone, like, so down. Anyway, that's good advice. What he said is that if it's crunch time, if you're a few weeks out from a competition, don't trust a nutritional label. Like, make the food yourself, weigh it out yourself, figure it out for yourself how much it actually is. You're gonna trust some company, that they have your best interest at heart, that it's not just like some guy in a lab who's like, I don't want to fucking measure this shit. I don't know, how much sugar do you think this has? 26. Okay, very 26. Like, who's really going to check that shit? Nobody checks. Oh, the government says there can be this, like, percentage of error margin. Okay, let's say they're off by fucking 50%. What's going to happen? The government's slow ass, like, bureaucracy is going to do what exactly? Really? What are they going to do? Shut you down? No. Are you kidding me? Like, they got better things, more important things to worry about than, like, your, like, tortilla has 6 grams more carbs than what you wrote on the, like, plastic packaging. Anyway, this is, like, simultaneously advice for, like, idiots and also physique competitors who I don't consider idiots, who at least, like, put care into their bodies. Make the argument: is it healthy to cut down to that weight? Whatever. It's not this topic. Yeah, I don't know. I guess this video is for fitness competitors, but for, like, your average person, again, I'll say it. It's the last time I'm going to say it because this video's over. Eat mostly meat and eggs. Try and eat foods that don't have nutritional labels. Eat them in moderation or sparsely if possible. Eat once a day at night so you limit the amount of insulin spikes and temptations that you have. And go to the fucking gym and work out. Jesus Christ, people. I don't want to say it anymore. Go to the gym, work out. Peace.